Welcome to the Bronze Age recap for Indie Comic Team Up Weekend. Today we're going to be enthusing over the many wonderful posts made on Instagram by comic artists and fans participating in the Indie Comic Team Up. It's a mashup event hosted by the Indie Comic Union where we take classic covers from each era in comics, or whatever pop medium you want to crib from, and stuff it chock full with indie comic characters from the hardworking accounts of indie artists on Instagram. This week is Bronze Age Weekend. It's probably the age most people know best. The Bronze Age firmly established the traditions and basic continuities that many of us know and love in comics, as well as being the birthplace of alternative and indie comics as we know them. Let's get on to some introductions. I'm Bradley Littlejohn, the Seahorsey. I make the comics Wiltworthy and Galactopera. And with me today are some other Indie Comic Union members. We'll start with Scott Lamini. He's a talented comic maker with incredibly expressive line and use of color. Scott's the artist on Intruder and a brilliant mind when it comes to character creation and attention to detail. Say hi, Scott.
Hi, thanks for having me.
John Osborne, artist and creator on the comic Frankenaut. He's as lethal with the ink as he is on the colors. John?
Hey, everyone. How's it going?
Next up, the Authorbot, Lord of the Chaos Engine, one of the most complex comics you'll find on Instagram, and a new project, Nemo 3000.
Hey, how's it going?
Incandescence Comics, Drew F. Lee, the master of comics conversation and creator of the superheroine Incandescence, a character he has decades of experience writing and drawing.
Hello.
That was a good one. Connor Cottontail, our new Scottish correspondent and indie comic maker. Connor produces the chronicles of the wage slave hero Honeyhair.
Hey, guys.
All right. And on that note, I wanted to check in, and does anyone have a specific memory about discovering comics that weren't just Marvel and DC? I mentioned earlier the Bronze Age really was the cradle of indie and alt comics. I know for myself, there was a point at which I walked into the Corner Comics, which was my local shop, and I saw Matt Wagner's book Mage on the shelf by Comico. And it blew my mind because it made me realize people were doing this. They were making comics that weren't just Superman. They weren't just Spider-Man. They weren't just the big companies. You could make your own world and you could get that into the comic shop. And it was transformative to me. And I realized I want to do that.
I had an experience with RPGs. You know, you'd wander into like some of the role-playing game stores, and that's where I got to see some of my first indie heroes through like V&V. I think I saw the Justice Machine as a supplement, and later on when I went into comic stores, I was like, wow, these are really ongoing issues and stuff that I could jump on board with, and that kind of blew me away.
Yeah. Speaking of Justice Machine, The Elementals was the big Bronze Age comic that defined a lot of my taste and stuff like that. When I was a little kid, my stepbrother had left around a copy of The Elementals trade paperback, and I like hid away from everybody. I devoured it cover to cover that day, and I was like, oh my God, comics could be like this.
I had a similar experience with Elementals. That was another one that was really big for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me there was a store called Amazing Comics that was in the neighborhood, and they had a lot of like non-traditional kind of books. They had a lot of really weird indie and underground comics, and one I remember right from the tail end of the Bronze Age. Probably my favorite of the independent books was Bernie Moreau's The Jam Urban Adventure. And that thing was, it was just this weird, funny comic about this guy who runs around in a Sears jogging suit and gets into trouble stepping on dog poop on his rooftop and stuff like that. I just thought, this is so offbeat. I love it.
Yeah, indie comics could do things and take risks that the others could not, especially because they were often outside of the Comic Code Authority. And that meant that they didn't have to toe that line. Even though the Bronze Age was the beginning of lightening up on that comic code, it still controlled those big publishers, and they didn't want to touch or go too far at pushing back against that. And it wasn't until the turn of the century that they really all stepped away from those prohibitions like that.
Oh yeah, the language and in a lot of the indie comics of the time was just stunning compared to what you would see in the big tubes comics.
Oh, yeah. Do you guys remember books like Faust?
Oh yeah,
They were just really, really hard, amazing.
yeah. That thing was out there. Like they just threw everything out there.
Yeah, it was Wolverine Extreme. It was just crazy. And I remember my friend really wanted to get his hands on a copy of it. Our local comic store was run by the high school math teacher. So we knew he kept it behind the counter, and we knew we couldn't go there to get it. So we had to drive, away to another comic to illicitly get a hold of a copy of Faust. Like that, indie comics had this buzz because they could do things that you just couldn't do. Yeah.
That's a good memory, man.
It's just like picturing those places you see in films where it just says adults only, and there's like beads, and you walk through.
The curtain made of beads.
Yeah.
Yeah, brown paper bag comics. Yeah, they were all over the place, and they provided this diverse experience. Well, should we get going with our indie comic team up Bronze Age here?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'd love
Do
to.
this thing. Okay, we're rolling.
Sweet. This is by Adam Gillespie. The classic Justice League of America cover with Shazam and Superman fighting, but they've been replaced. I like that big old bowgun in the background, kind of observing.
Yeah.
I like Paradoxon on the mountain there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's Robbie's, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right on. I didn't even recognize that one. That's poor Shazam. He always got like mind tricked into having to fight everybody.
Well, I mean, technically he is a kid, although he is also supposed to have the wisdom of Solomon, right?
Yeah, so much for that. Another one, and this is kind of a theme too of good guys fighting good guys. The Bronze Age was just full of that, and Maj Lozano's got that going on here too.
Fantastic.
Oh yeah, I like how he really keeps the effect of the period really well every time he does one of these.
Definitely.
Yeah, he morphed his style and everything.
Ron's flavor in this one too. You got a great mix of characters.
It's so impressive how similar it looks. That's incredible.
Yeah, and actually, I think I posted this to my story, the wrong one initially. I got tricked as I was going real fast. My character, I didn't even recognize it at first. The Shock King is on the right. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in there.
Oh, Scott, you
this is
killed
sick.
it on this one. This one is awesome.
Thank you.
You outdid
Absolutely.
Gil Kane is amazing. I guess he was doing like every Bronze Age cover they were saying for Marvel at one time. They've got like a whole slew of them. So he was getting every assignment possible.
A couple of things I really like that you did here were with the lettering and with utilizing Pulp to Pixels characters here.
Yeah, I totally stole that
doing
font.
stuff that it works right with the time frame, so it's perfect.
Yeah, I stole it all. Flipped that M for a W, and all the letters in Micronauts work for Warriors. So yeah, yeah. Thank you,
Masterstroke.
I love this one.
Bunny.
Yeah.
I got to find out more about this source material. It looks like fantastic. I want to read this stuff.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's early Power Rangers stuff, right?
Yeah, Super Sentai.
Yeah.
Super Sentai.
And I love
They
that.
said it was called Go Ranger.
Oh.
What I really like here is the way they had this mix of the black lines and the color holds. I thought that was pretty neat.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that vintage effect came off that, and even the adapting the logo was brilliant.
Star
So
Saber did
authentic.
a great job on that. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Got the flow of her hair going with the flow of the cape. It's just very well executed.
Oh wow, yeah.
Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
notice
Yeah.
that.
Good
Clever,
detail.
yeah.
Stars oriented vertically instead of horizontally. Yeah, fantastic.
This is just amazing. This is
Yeah. Album cover.
I gotta
a
say,
dream come true.
the fringe on Frank is what kills me every time I see it.
Yeah, the spiked cod piece, like we were saying, is now going to be
Yeah.
permanent clothing line.
I like that you're going to be adapting this to canon now, John.
Oh, I have to. There wasn't a choice as I saw it.
Now it's easy to imagine.
You're like, I
Audrey
cannot
having
go
something like
back.
this in her closet, but
Yes.
Frank too.
It's in there. It's already in there. It's so good.
And my cruel character, the mace, was really clever to replace
Yes.
kind of to the side with, and mirrors that hand holding the knee.
Oh, this one's great.
This one cracked me
Great.
up.
Wow. Great
Robot
image.
Fun Monster tackling the vital social issues.
Well, I've genuinely had nightmares like this.
It's like
You're
every
like,
day.
too real, man. I can't get into it.
Connor, have memes about Karen made it across the pond?
Oh, definitely. Well, it's internet wide now. We only just got in Scotland internet a couple of weeks ago, just before I joined here. So
Karen's a global phenomenon at this point.
Yeah, global nightmare. We have 2 pandemics.
Oh, with this one, I love the dope cat sitting in the background.
Yeah, right.
Big old head.
For that to work, that's hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to get the characters of like different abstractions from cartoon to superhero. You got that. That's fantastic.
It is.
I love this incandescence here. She could
Yeah,
totally
she's so
kill
buff.
Luke Skywalker here.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, she's definitely like the what was it, the 90s reissues of the Star Wars figures where they
Yes.
Oh,
I know
yes.
exactly
Yeah.
what you're talking
Scaled up.
It kind of calls to mind like a little bit of I did a He-Man picture of her
Yeah,
earlier.
it's the Masters
Kind of
of the
reminds me
Universe
of like
figures.
an action figure kind of a style.
Yeah.
She's got the same pose. They all have the same
Yeah.
pose.
Chronic
This one's
Rangers.
Yeah, it's a fantastic cover.
This was definitely the Bronze Age cover of the weekend. This one caught a lot of people's eyes, and they wanted to redo this one.
And I bet if you ask just a person who's into comics but hasn't read them in a while, what's the cover you remember the most from that era? They might not say this one, but they're definitely thinking it. Like it burned its way into people's brains.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I almost feel like this is like a modern comics precursor. You know what I mean? Like it just, because like this is what we're all jonesing for as kids, as reading that kind of stuff. That issue and that what, Days of Future Past, was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
So good.
Oh wow! I never saw this one. That's fantastic.
I love the
Yes.
halftone, the screen tones going
Yeah.
on, and the perspective. He pushes it even further than what happens with the Machine Man one. Anybody know what the original? Who drew the original?
Apparently, it was a Frank Miller, which I never realized. I had this comic. I got it from a quarter bin when I was like 8, and I never realized it was a Frank Miller as I grew up. I know Ditko was doing the interiors for a while.
Yeah,
And,
Frank Miller was a
Ditko coming
chameleon
out.
early on. Yeah.
He started out as kind of like a Gil Kane kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like he tried to do a lot of that stuff and
Yeah.
became his own dude.
Hey, Connor, do you want to fluff up your own piece?
Oh, it's my one. Well, it's pretty great. I've got to tell you that much. It's best one.
I agree with you.
Um,
I agree.
Peanut Gallery, we agree.
It's I just think I just picked the cover because it's hilarious. Look how goofy the Aquaman logo is, and Aquaman's crying over his dead child. His wife is shouting at him but calling him by his Superman name. Why would you call him the superhero name? And
I grew up reading Bronze Age, and I didn't see this cover as silly at all. I'm like, oh no, that guy's right. This is so dramatic. I don't see any silliness.
I'm hiding my tears right now.
Mike LaPeralta did this one.
So many great characters.
Yeah,
This is
fantastic.
another great cover from the era, calling
God,
it to Secret Wars, which is probably like the biggest thing in the Bronze Age for Marvel fans.
Yeah. And Mike Zack, I went through and reread this recently. It was amazing. And Mike LaPeralta really pulls out a lot of those kind of elements in what he's doing.
What's
I really
the modern
like
age
that
cutoff?
Gordian.
The modern age cutoff?
Yeah, like the year. Like, because this has got to be close, right?
because nobody got a doctorate in this. It's a little bit loose, but most people say 1985 was kind of the end. I think they really represent the rise of Dark Knight and the rise of Watchmen, which was coming, and probably the Daredevil stuff kind of set off the modern age, and we never looked back. Here's me.
Love this.
This was so
beautiful.
Back of the little golden books. Yep.
I love how you worked all these stretchy arm guys in here with Branch and the Worm.
That just happened. I think
got the OJ Bot and Bounty Bot, and they all have these stretchy arms. Mr. Hugh.
It was hard to get away from the Bronze Age covers, but I wanted to bring in all those cute characters and autobio characters and stuff that I don't feel like necessarily fit. Although Gretchen is a badass. She shows up in all kinds of superhero events this weekend.
She really does. Yeah. Like in battle pose and everything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Teachable Moments comic.
Wow.
It's good to know.
It's definitely got the feel of it.
Yeah, it's in the
glad I got the
spirit
heads
of
up
the
on
original
that.
For sure.
I
Got
reversed.
some really raunchy comics, but they're pretty funny.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a similar kind of influence. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Details
Harvey
too.
Picard and the autobio comics, and
Yeah,
definitely.
and looking at Harvey Picard too, that's a perfect example of something that comic shops allowed to flourish, because it was head shops, comic shops were the places you could get all indie comics. Without that, I mean, 7-Eleven's not carrying that.
Drew, you should talk about this one. You're the big Ghost Rider fan.
I thought this one was awesome. So we got Pope Von Doom drawing his character Phantom-esque with pink lemonade in a Ghost Rider homage. And I just thought this was really cool. It's fun to look at. And it's a perfect match with the bikes and everything.
Really?
Yeah, it really is.
It's so
the
clean.
Circular logo with the circle designs. Oh my God.
Yeah, and
Did he make that logo custom, or is that his real?
I think he's had that for a while.
Yeah, because he used
it's been his avatar.
That's
his default.
Yeah, he's had a really good design on his page layouts. Can be really good too. A lot of icons and stuff I've used, imagery spaced in between his panels and things. Okay, loose apples.
Nice.
Yeah.
Darius.
The Bronze Age sure is full of Spider-Man's ass straight at the camera, isn't it?
Yeah, right. You gotta see how it shifts when he moves his legs.
More butt in it. Like that's an open question.
Daredevil, Spider-Man, and the Creeper. You got a lot of butt cheek from those guys in the Bronze.
I think the only thing I would have suggested if I were his editor was that Derry be swinging on a roll of toilet paper.
Oh, missed opportunity.
Perfect choice, though. Perfect character choice.
And Robbie's piece, R. Hemlock.
Oh, yeah. And he actually had two color schemes for this one, which both looked great.
Yeah, I had meant to do the pastel one because I kind of was leaning a little bit towards that, but then this was the one that I actually transferred with my phone when I was going through, and it's a good one too with that kind of pushed green like that.
I've only been in the community here for about a week, and he stuck Honey in the corner. I'm so happy.
Oh yeah, there she is on the corner box. Absolutely. Yeah. I was just so honored to have Eleanor take the place of Jean Grey here, like this overpowered alien character. I was like, oh, shoot, he got her right. He got the cape right, the hair right. It was dope.
And Instagram Miller here.
Oh, he did some killer work with the colors on this one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, his write-up, too. He talked a little bit about his color use and how he dulled down his colors to get them that papery retro look. And
it's really effective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got the nice Kirby reach, like the character. He's got that commanding stance. And the original looks like it has a Kirby face, Superman face redraw. Kirby drove Kirby nuts. But
the infamous redrawn Superman.
Yeah.
The tradition which continues the Justice League with the mustache.
I love that. This one's fantastic.
Yeah. I'm not sure I saw this one.
Oh, this one's great.
Yeah, it's got.
I love the attention that he put into the logo and the wanted poster and everything, and just Incandescence's expressions.
Yeah.
Right.
With the Monkey King's expression too. It's just
Right,
great.
right.
And the unmasking of Dr. Monty Canston, like with Vic. Yeah, that was a great touch.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm honored to have one of my dragoons in there. And what a good example of bumbling officer like that. So,
Yeah, it totally fits.
yeah. And the logo is pretty sweet too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, flaming carrot.
Oh wow, you almost got a little recursive thing going with the covers laid next to each other.
And it goes over there. Yeah, wow.
It's awesome.
Infinite arms.
Loops. Yeah. No.
That's
fantastic.
Pretty cool. I didn't see that. It's the fourth wall breakout kind of thing.
Goes back in
And of course,
time.
Flaming Carrot, another great of the Bronze Age.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I think I saw him in a Ninja Turtle comic or a parody or something, and just thinking that is such an interesting character.
One of my favorites was when Flaming Carrot showed up in Cerebus for a couple of issues. Like Cerebus was on the moon and he's like, I'm so alone. And then like Flaming Carrot comes out like, what?
Christopher Runciman, Canada is the account.
Wasn't me. Did he do two? Did he do two this week?
Yeah, I was able to capture it. I have one more coming up here.
I think he's been doing 2 every week.
Yeah,
That's
he's
amazing.
prolific.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very honored. That's a really cool Yeti. When he does the Yeti, he's always got this nice kind of almost greasy quality to him. It looks menacing.
Yeah.
He has a great theme here with the anthropomorphic characters.
Yeah.
Got Robot Fun Monsters Cat, and we got Newbie and from Atomic Victory Squad.
Yeah, and the torture and the
with
fake one.
Paradoxon in the back.
Mm-hmm. I really like Newbie. That's really cool.
Frederick Gunvey.
I'm really happy that Frederick is like joining in with this and bringing his style to stuff because it is so distinct. It is very one of a kind.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and he's even done a little zigging here because he's working with an album type theme. Because I think we've only had 2 other people do album covers so far, and so he's run with that.
And is there anything that overt in the background of the original? No, right?
No. Yeah, no.
That's awesome.
Injecting those extras down in there.
Did anyone have that Depeche Mode?
I didn't own that one.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
It was like there was a divide between are you into Depeche Mode or are you into like the Smiths?
Oh wait, no.
The Smiths UFO Temple, they're the one that I love here. What's going on?
Gronk fluffing his hair is like such a great scene. I just love that.
I love how it's a cover of a Mad cover.
Right.
That parody of Grease.
Yeah, there's 3 levels of parody because there's just Chaos Engine itself, Mad, and Grease. Parody atop parody atop parody. It's recursive.
He even has a line about Diamond on there.
Yeah, I saw that the second time I read it. I was like, oh, shoot, there's like a side thing. It was really fun.
Oh, this is beautiful.
It really is.
This has to be one of my favorites of the Bronze Age weekend. This was so cool.
Yeah, I think this was the big one of the weekend for me.
It surprised me.
Yeah.
She just did an amazing job with this.
Oh yeah.
Such graphic chops, like cartoon skills,
The placement of the characters, the coloring and everything, it's just completely perfect.
Yeah.
And it's just a little bit more clear than the original. Like you can see detail more.
She's just like, I'll just make some improvements.
Yeah.
I'll just improve on this classic real quick.
One of the great colorists of all time. I'll just make some improvements. Yeah. And Mariana Furiosa. Yeah.
Awesome.
Some more well-deserved love for Jink Beast.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it really fits thematically. Like I could easily see Jink Beast's characters in a Ghost World type of plot or like non-plot. Like I would read the heck out of that series.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good homage. That's awesome. Good cover.
And even she adapted her watercolor style too. She did a lot more of field colors. She will splotch in, do color.
Oh, you're right.
Adapted that. Yeah.
I hadn't noticed that at first.
Spot color kind of thing. So mark the art.
Oh, this is great.
Yeah.
So good. So many good characters. Duplicated so well.
Yeah. The different art styles they went through to like make that composition work is pretty fun to see.
Yeah.
And the mix of characters too. He has two human characters, but one is the more cartoony one, Barry Barambo, and then the other one, the Hawk. He's a more of a realistic style. And then you got the cartoon characters on the other side, the anthropomorphic animals, and they're in color. It's just so fun to look at.
Yeah, and that's tricky to pull off. You end up in Howard the Duck territory really fast. You know. Authorbot, you want to center stage this cool recursive one?
Sure. So I love the original Aquaman cover. It reminds me a bit of, there was a Golden Age character named Johnny Quick who had this famous scene where he like lifted a bunch of bricks to build a brick wall, but his speed powers were shown frame by frame like this instead of as lightning and lines like the Flash. So it made it like a very different visual effect for a speedster character.
Yeah, it's a neat comic tradition. I wonder, there's somebody that has to have looked up where did it start. Nope, we're going to keep rolling with Authorbot. I thought I'd broken you up, but we're.
So Pratik is a younger artist. I really like his stuff. It's very unique. Sometimes with younger artists, it blends together, but his is very distinct. And he has this character, Rad Duck. And Rad Duck and Dope Cat are characters I've been meaning to draw for a while. So this was just the perfect excuse to put them on a page.
They're too stoned.
I love Dope Cat down the bottom. I didn't notice them the first time.
Only they weren't.
I like how it's in a little thought balloon of its own too.
Yeah, separate from it. This is awesome.
Yep, Rabbit Fighter 13.
Wow.
I love
Very
that title, The Repeat Offenders.
Yeah, no, and a bunch of different characters too. You know, a much like better selection than I've been using. Awesome, you know, like picking different characters and getting some more exposure to new creations. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I've read Machine Girl. I think this cover might have introduced me to that character.
Yeah,
that's what's so cool about this.
That would be me too. Yeah, that's what we're here for, right? Is that opportunity to mingle.
Love and comics. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's ennui and excited, correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he does a lot of those great kind of relationship type comics too, which is a really good fit.
Yeah, it's very appropriate for their own work. And then, I mean, the Hernandez brothers are a great thing to be homaging for this.
Oh yeah.
Like talk about total roots, and where would you buy a Love and Rockets comic if it hadn't been for the rise of comic shops and indie and alt comics like that?
It's got Axe Princess. You're starting to see her pop up a lot more.
Yeah,
she's appeared in quite a few.
And it's back-to-back presentations of Gretchen showing up too.
Yeah. Here's another Gretchen in Studio Malice's piece.
Yep.
A lot of work went into this one, man.
Yeah, to get that composition to like kind of, but not exactly mirror the original. And the original composition is like famous for a reason. I mean, this is ambitious.
Yeah.
There's so many characters.
Got her from Cave Time Comics in there. Got Potato. So he's kind of honored our old art group and a lot of new folks too.
Yeah, everything's rolling through there.
Nice to see.
That's very true.
And this is the second one from Adam Gillespie. Another one was prolific artist that's just bringing it.
Choosing a cool Neil Adams cover to work off of. Very cool.
Oh yeah. So there's another new one to me. Samaras is recently new to me.
That's one of Mike LaPeruta's characters.
Yeah.
I kind of hope like after this that people just start like there's some kind of like big flood link where we just talk about like all the products that these characters are attached to.
Yeah.
Because maybe because I'm the only old person in this group who has such a hard time tracking this stuff down. But
that may be a good idea. We might have a future video there.
Yeah, for sure. Several future videos.
Too. Wow. I have not seen this.
This like brings me to tears. It's so good. Yeah, it's really good.
Incredible.
Yeah, I just love it.
Yeah, I was really.
I kind of want to color it. I want to color it and ruin it.
Oh my gosh!
Because it wouldn't be any better. It's beautiful already as it is. The tones are so subtle, and I'd be throwing color on top of it and ruining the delicate balances. But I'd still want to try. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. And again, that logo
kind of calls to mind like that ink work that I think it was Stephen Gammell was doing in those Scary Stories books. It kind of has a little bit of that ink wash quality to it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is Jeff and Loop art, right?
That's right. Yeah, Jeff and Loop art.
Been producing some really good stuff.
He always does very kinetic pieces, man. You know, like in your face characters, erupting, and he's killer marker renderer too.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him tackle an Eric Larson cover. I mean, that's a kinetic artist. I think he could like homage perfectly.
His style kind of calls to mind maybe a little bit of Ryan Otley kind of stuff, and Otley is kind of similar to Larson in that way too.
What
modern age holds.
And that's Derek Dryman Art's character, right? The mammoth, right?
Yeah, and I think Ronamon was in there as well. Yeah, and here's another one from Christopher Runciman.
Carrying off Greg Gretchen. Finally scores one after getting punched out by Intruder last.
He's resorted to kidnapping now.
There's a whole assortment of frogs along the bottom, which is also very including the artist for Frog King art.
All the facial expressions in this cover are just perfect. Just could not be better.
Frogs.
What was the original this was based off of? Do we know
He didn't post his originals. That one I searched down, but I tried. And
that's right. We're here to what we all waited for anyway.
The real star.
Yeah, Connor, I think I awakened the desire in you for a 10-speed bicycle.
Yes, I need the 10-speed bike. It's been stuck in my head constantly ever since you posted this. Every single bike I see, I need to check how many speeds it's got.
Now. The thing I need is that Formula 10 font. That's a great font.
I've been looking through every back issue I've got to find more bike competitions. I found the Judge Dredd one.
It's such a shame because if you were in the Bronze Age, they wouldn't have been hard to find at all. Just like pick up a random comic. There's your bike.
Yep.
The other one was like the Toys R Us shopping spree, I think.
I didn't see this one either.
I didn't see this one.
Dr. Valencia Designs. I think he didn't have it tagged, but I found it because he came through my stream and grabbed this one. I think now it is tagged because he and I talked. Mm-hmm. But again, with that great cover.
Awesome character. And also like he got the tags really look like pasted on top, which even the original didn't really get. You know what I mean? Like that.
Oh yeah.
That's true. Yeah. It looks a lot more like how a poster with stuff on it would look. Like you can almost feel it.
Yeah, and I guess that plays to his style because remember he also had Brett from Comic Dispatch in his first one, his Golden Age. So he does a lot of collage kind of stuff working into it.
Oh wow, this one's beautiful.
John, you want to?
Yeah, this was like completed maybe 30 minutes ago. It's based off the Infinite Crisis or Crisis on Infinite Earths. And I bit off way more than I could chew. I'm like, I'm going to fill this one with as many as in that cover. And no way. I just could not. But it was a lot of fun.
It's beautiful and ambitious, though.
That's great, man.
Thank you.
Is Combat Cat in there? Is Combat Cat in bottom left?
Bottom left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I even see Derry in there.
Oh yeah. I
The
forgot the,
lighting and
ass man on the
shading
back
on the
of his.
robot are just gorgeous.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this is our
Appreciate
last but not least moment.
that. So good.
This is my favorite movie of all time, so I had
Amazing.
to draw it.
It's a great movie.
That's a
This
good
is so
choice.
good.
Yeah, and your style on that, the way it
I
adapted.
tried to adapt it a little bit. It was really hard because Drew Struzan, he does like some crazy good stuff, and I couldn't get anywhere near that style. But I tried doing some of the things with little halos around the characters and a little bit of a stronger lighting, and it was just really hard. I mean, it killed me. I like doing the little changes on the cover copy there, though. That was fun.
You did a really
It just
good job
really
on
One thing with
showcases the diversity of your talents, Drew. That
Definitely.
really takes a lot to pull off.
Yeah, and you kind of stretched out with it. It was nice. Well, that's everything that we have so far. I haven't. If we have a pickup, we may have another smaller episode that we put out this week. If very understandably, people in December can't get all their stuff done. But that was our Bronze Age indie comic team up for this week. And I'm thinking this coming week, we're going to have to make some ads and push that it's going to be like the Iron Challenge. Can you get through Christmas and do your modern age cover? Right? So this is where you really show what you're made of if you can pull out this.
feat of strength.
Yeah, or maybe we should have a naming competition. Is it the adamantium age or something like that?
Ooh. I think you just won the competition.
Boom! Started it and won it in like 2 seconds.
Well, I think
Yeah, that was amazing.
Drew, didn't you have something? You had a good age for what we could call the modern age before.
One of the things that was going around in my internet nerd circles in that time was probably the Chromium age, because we had so many of those horrible gimmick covers in the 90s.
Like the foil, you mean? Yeah.
That's good.
We had like the oil slick Sleepwalker cover and the punch out mask Sleepwalker cover, and like
That's right.
Ghost Rider, the Chromium Exo Manowar and Ninjak.
And God forbid Cable was on a cover, like his whole arm's just like coming off. It's like, dude, that's too much arm.
And no
in
feet.
Chromium.
No feet, yes.
Like, Liefeld had this one cover that was like it was like one of those thermal things where you rub the cover and like a blood splatter appears.
Oh, gee.
So here's a prediction. We saw the Days of Future Past from the X-Men show up as the most popular cover to riff on. Anybody predict something super awesome that's going to show up from the modern age? It's a huge era, so it's really hard.
Dark Knight should be an easy one.
Yeah, I was going to say that's.
Oh, yep.
Which one?
Dark Knight Returns.
Oh,
Yeah.
With the silhouette of Batman and his clunky cape, and he's like not filling up the whole cover. He's just a small part of it. It's very like iconic.
I don't want to
potentially see the Batman and Robin one where they're jumping in front of the lightning. That one's always been a popular go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything because I've already started mine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I can't think any.
Looks like the one I chose for sure. That's going to be the one.
Yeah. It's different. I mean, we'll talk about it more next week, but covers changed in the modern age. And I think yesterday when we were talking, Robot Fun Monster made a good point because of the way what they're looking for in covers is the opportunity to parody. And I think the opportunity to parody modern age covers shift. And we don't have to talk about it right now, but it's something to think about, because as I'm collecting covers to try and put together little ads for the week, I realize modern age covers have a whole different tradition from bronze and silver and gold, or maybe I think silver and bronze attach really well. And I think golden age covers are different of themselves. And I think modern age covers are different and unto themselves. So something to think about and move forward as we're seeing what people pick.
Yeah, I feel like history hasn't really wrapped the modern age up. Like, I think it's more ages than they've, it just gold, silver, and bronze is such a simple. I feel like modern can be split so many different ways that I feel like
when we were kids, there was no Bronze Age. I mean, this was something that was added in fairly recently.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just okay. There was Golden
Gold
Age,
and
there was
silver
Silver
and
Age, and now we just make comics.
Yeah, bronze was kind of a. It's like the Gen X has to fight for everything. They're not going to get a 90s representation. You know, they're gonna blow off 90s comics, even though it's such a distinct theme. Like, why doesn't comics that ran to about 2001 have the
extreme age?
An age.
There actually was a character during. There actually was a character during that 90s extreme age named Extreme, and his superpower was that his blood blew stuff up. Like if you got some blood from him on you, you blew up.
So,
was that the guy from
like
the
a worse Gambit?
A more extreme Gambit.
Yeah, a Gambit that had to cut himself first.
It's a pretty good argument to say it should be the extreme age. It breaks from metals, but it was definitely what it was all about. Extreme. You got big X's too. You have to capitalize all those in the extreme age. Yeah.
I think Dung from Savage Dragon would be my favorite extreme age character then.
Which character from Savage Dragon?
Dung. He was the guy who shot poop out of jets on his arms.
That's right.
Have you ever seen that the video with Stan Lee in the 90s creators? And they're creating a character, and I think he's called Overdrive or something. He's covered in chains, and Stan Lee's standing over him, saying stuff like, "How does he change about his costumes?" And then the guys are like, "Well, it doesn't. You don't show them changing out their costumes." And he goes, "Yeah, just like you don't show them going to the toilet either."
Right on. Well, I think that's a great note to end on.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a good segue to the modern age right there, is Stan Lee's quote.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Agreed.
Let's say goodnight, everybody. I'll get this rendered and up on YouTube early this week, and we'll be working on that iron willpower of getting through Christmas and the modern age.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah, hey, you got it. That's your official
There you go.
Make sure to like and subscribe.